गुड मॉर्निंग एंड वेलकम टू गणेश शॉर्ट. गणेश शॉर्ट में आप सबका स्वागत है. Today we're going to talk of early in the morning about China's deepening crisis. Make no mistakes. There is a crisis in China and it's a poly crisis. And that's what I put out today in the morning in my tweet also. There is a crisis in the military, there's a crisis in the economy, there's crisis in the political system, and there's a financial crisis looming. And of course, let's not forget there's a trade war also happening. Well, just about 4 days back, let me put things in perspective. 4 days back, I did a video on, this thing. Suddenly it's been put, I don't know why, but I've appealed against it. It's been put on restricted payments and things like that, restricted revenue, and not suitable for advertisements, something like that. And I've appealed against it, but let's see where it goes. So someone is monitoring, someone is influencing. These things don't happen. It's a video which had nothing, right? Same thing here. Let's see. So things are not normal in China, and anyone who speaks against China is, coming under some kind of a scanner. But that doesn't matter. We have to speak, and we have to. It's not about speaking against China. This is more about speaking for India, because unless we know what's happening in China, we don't know how to react. That's the point which I want to actually put across today, and I'll keep putting it across. I wanted to give a couple of more days before I could talk of China, but lo and behold, this article came out, and then it forced me to talk today, because the gravity of this article was very important. This is in South China Morning Post. This part shows there's a US-China trade war. That everyone knows. It's been on now for 3 months. But this is the thing. As US pressure mounts, China's top party general doubles down on long-haul preparations. Well, this is where it is. What is this top party general? Is Qiushi. Qiushi general is the holy of holiest journals of the Communist Party. And that whatever comes out of Qiushi, they don't put out articles daily. Whatever comes out of Qiushi is God's gospel, or China's gospel, or Xi Jinping's gospel. And they came out with an article. This is it. The article is conveying a message of certainty in China's economy. Anything you do in China is masked in something. So this is masked. But the interesting thing is that this is how it came. In fact, the journal has warned that China would be facing an even more challenging external environment marked by sudden and unexpected events. Now, these sudden and unexpected events are not external. They're internal also. That's the important thing. This is controlled largely by Xi Jinping. This is his message. It set me thinking. I said, let me start connecting dots, because Qiushi coming out, Qiushi doesn't make it public. Qiushi you can access on the net, but what is on the net is a little old. The latest will never come out on Qiushi. Immediately. So, and to be very honest, I don't have an access to it. I'll have an access to it when they make it public. Some things don't make it public also. In the journal, they put out only what they choose to put out. Okay, anyway, this has come out in South China Morning Post. So I read it, and I read it with interest, and I said, look, let me start connecting the dots. The moment this came out, I started connecting the dots. And actually today morning I went for a walk. In the long walk, I was listening to China-based YouTubers. And then I realized there's a financial crisis, there's a political crisis, X, Y, Z, and immediately I came back, put this together in half an hour. And just about half an hour back, I finished and had a bath and all and came, and I said, let me talk. So, right. Now the journal calls for stabilizing employment, boosting demand, domestic demand, securing food and energy supplies, addressing risks arising from local level debt, small bank troubles, and property downturn. You know what? This is the problem of China. They are outlining it, that this is the problems which you have, and these are the macro problems of China today. This is not new, but coming in QC and saying that they're going to focus on this is interesting, because they're focusing on this for the past 2 years and nothing has happened. Same thing. It's persistent. This downturn is persistent. Later on, he says weak domestic demand, employment pressure, real estate crisis, US tariffs continue to weigh on China's economy. Damn well it does. The commentary said that China must strengthen the efforts to shore up cutting core and cutting edge technologies, achieves breakthrough in critical bottleneck technologies, and accelerate the application of scientific advances to drive new growth momentum. The problems are the same. Today, the application is through technology. So, China is betting big on technology to, get out of it. Pradeep Patil says, sir, why don't you take my questions? Yeah, just put your question, Pradeep. I'll take it. Don't worry. Just put your question. I'll take it. Okay. So, right. Okay. So, this set me thinking and, working around everything. Now, this whole story goes back to this Politburo meeting, which was held in the last week of April. It was an extended special Politburo meeting. What comes out of stabilization, struggle, wall is there. But the fact is, this indicates this meeting, and now it is coming out, some leaked letters, some leaked speeches, something else, that there is a huge political and military struggle going on within the CCP. It's now rumored that Hu Jintao, Wen Jiabao, and Zhang Yuxia, they are now forming a clique. And this clique is going against Xi Jinping. And Xi Jinping is hitting back. It's not as if Xi Jinping is down and out. Let's not count him out. He controls the state and the apparatus. But he's not able to put those chaps out. In the process, remember, 2 generals have been wiped out. Finished. In this Politburo meeting, which is supposed to be an extended special meeting, it went on for long. Hu Jintao spoke, and he spoke against Xi Jinping. Zhang Yuxia spoke, and he spoke against Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping hit back. Now, Zhang Yuxia is an interesting character. Zhang Yuxia, at the end of the 20th Party Congress, was set to retire. Xi Jinping said, no, don't retire. You come and stabilize PLA. PLA is in problems. There were a lot of corruption, this, that, all that, loyalty. All these things were there. So Zhang Yuxia continued to be in the thing. And then he has made some funny speech, whatever he made. And slowly he has fallen out with Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping stuffed the Politburo Standing Committee and the Central Military Commission with his hand-picked people. And it was not working. And Zhang Yuxia started going against Xi Jinping. And somewhere I think he's joined hands with Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao, who was the previous prime minister. They're the party elders. So now now this fellow has come. Dekha, a ping one has come. We'll put him out. Okay. Right. So the story has started in and a lot of things are coming out. If you go to those channels run by Chinese, like Lee's Real Talk, digging into China Observer, they'll report all this. Their sources are vague. But overall, if you see, and in fact, then they have no sources because they're not. It's nothing is official. It's a closed door system. But if you put the sum total of what everyone is speaking, there is a picture which is emerging. There's a picture which is emerging. Okay. So now this fellow also has come out. He should also, yeah. See, he says you're a classic example of Indians who have mastered the art of fooling themselves. So very fast, these guys are coming at us. That's okay. Don't worry. Right. Now, this is it. Now, alongside this came this white paper on security. Why did it come? When this thing came, people started discussing the contents, CAO, all that. If you remember, General Dushyant, I and Rajiv Narayanan did, discussion on this. My comment then was, I said, this is out of syllabus. Why did it come? Why did the security white paper come? China never had a national security white paper. It comes between two, what shall I say, party congresses. It comes between two party congresses, 20 party congress, which happened in October 22. The next one is to happen. Next one is too far. Things are going bad. So this comes. And now what I said, China, everything is securitized. The economy is securitized. The politics is also being securitized. So they come out with a Chinese white paper. And this white paper, 90% is security. I mean, a lot of people have said a lot of things. I went through everyone's analysis. I found this is something interesting. Blend power projection and paranoia or paranoia. We are dealing with a paranoid government. We should be aware of this. As Indians, we should be aware of this. And that paranoia has gone up after Op-Sindoor. Then I also analyzed, thought, why is China amplifying Pakistan's victory over India? Why is it? I mean, they have nothing to do. It's just not that J10 has defeated and, right. That is not sales and this and that. And that is being magnified big time through internal media to internal people because people outside have stopped believing it. See, whatever happened in Op-Sindoor, the Pakistani thing is now going to dirt because a lot of people are now analyzing what happened in Op-Sindoor and how Pakistan got whipped badly and how Chinese equipment failed. Right? Even China has stopped talking of it because at beyond a point it becomes negative, diminishing returns. It's backfiring, and especially the Pakistani fools, the way they're going about it. I'll talk of it maybe later or some other day. But within within China, in their internal media, it is still blaring. Every day in Chinese media, you see one or two articles about Chinese technology, how it mastered Western technology, how Pakistan has beaten India with Chinese technology and all that. And of course, they only talk of aircraft, AVO. They have completely suppressed what's happened to the air defense systems, what happened to Beidou, what happened to their communications and everything. Then you put this white paper on security, what happened in that Politburo meeting, you put other things together, now the Chinese are convincing everyone that technology is the way forward. Our technology is the best. See, we beaten India through Pakistan. If we can beat India through Pakistan, it is actually a victory over USA. It's a victory over the West. It's regime survival. You have to understand the layer, subtext of China. And this is what I get. Well, if you people feel that what I'm saying is okay, like this video and tell everyone, we need to understand what these Chinese are doing and not get perturbed by it, and not get perturbed by those Pakistani idiots. Okay, let's get ahead with the story. See this. China's Dong Jun to skip Singapore forum and a chance to meet US Asian defense chiefs. Dong Jun is who? He is the defense minister of China, PLA. ठीक है, जो भी है उसका. Every year there's a Singapore Defense Forum which is held. Every year the Chinese chap comes and makes a statement, and that statement is seen very seriously. 2 or 3 years back, I think our defense minister went and spoke. Even our prime minister went and spoke once in that defense forum. This defense forum is important for this region. All the defense honchos of ASEAN, Asia, everyone come there. Invariably, last year, the Secretary of Defense, US, also landed up and spoke. And there was a to my and all that, fine. They say this chap is not coming only. Now, correct. PLA is in trouble. 2 members of the 2 generals dead. Half of the CMC missing. The CMC chairman and the vice chairman don't see eye to eye. Dong Jun, who was handpicked by Xi Jinping to be the defense minister of China, okay, is not even part of the Politburo. He's not even part of the CMC. And now he's not being allowed to come out also. They're worried if he comes out. I mean, this is the way I look at it. If he's worried, he comes out and people ask him questions and he talks something nonsense, their regime at stake. Or he's one of the pawns being played internally for power struggle. All this is coming out. You have to, I mean, I'm connecting a lot of threads. But you think of the pressure which is there in the PLA. You see the PLA, how weak it is. Internally, everyone knows the leadership is in a complete mess. Their weapons are in a complete mess. And yet, there's a faction which says go to Taiwan and capture it. And there's a faction which says don't go. And there, it's political. Everything in China is political. Remember, don't ever judge China by its economy, by its whatever, political, military, commerce. No, political. Politically, they are in a tremendous mess. That's the thing which comes out. These signals come out. Okay. Then now they have introduced something else. So they've introduced laws against military industrial espionage. They're worried. There's some leak somewhere. Okay, there's some issue. They're trying to plug it. I mean, otherwise, well, some law introduced there, how does it matter? But if you see the other things, then you come to know, yaar, ye kuch ho raha hai, kahani, andar. And then, of course, that's the, I've spoken now of military, I've spoken of politics. Now let's talk of geopolitics. We might like Trump, not like Trump. Okay. Whether he's good for India or not, I'm not bothered. That's a different story. We'll talk of it. But what Trump is doing to China is screwing them. Let's be all screws are being tightened. Earlier in the month or last month, he said, no, trade war, I'll reduce the tariffs, all that, and we will start talking. So he started talking. The moment he started talking, Trump has fired 2 more salvos. He's fired. He's put a ban on education. Chinese can't go to US to get educated. Okay. And if you have links with PLA, a Chinese student going to USA, now people who are there already, they are being investigated whether they have any links remotely with PLA. If they have any links with PLA, their visas will be revoked and they'll go back. Marco Rubio has already passed this. It's not a tariff. It's been passed. Then Trump has also said, don't give technology. We'll talk of this. So what is this story about? The US Department of Commerce has told American electronic design automation firms, including Cadence, Synopsys, and Siemens EDA, to stop supplying technology to China. Period. Washington has suspended some licenses that allowed American companies to sell products and technology to China's state-owned aerospace manufacturer Comac. That would that could be used to develop the homegrown C-919 aircraft. Very simple. So now technology which China needs to make their C-919 aircraft, which they are now touting, USA stopped giving technology. Why? I mean, why? China stopped giving them rare earth magnets, ये वो. They said, ठीक है, मेरे को magnet मत दो, ये बंद कर दो तुम्हारा. China's dependence, everyone thinks China is controlling everything. We should never forget, USA controls hell of a lot more than China. And it coerces more than China. Don't don't ever, wish away the devil. So he is now twisting China's tail completely. And he is one of the causes of this instability everywhere. Because people don't know how to deal with him. I mean, I don't know if Trump also knows how to deal with himself. That's a different story. Okay. So there is a problem. And all this is the part of the crisis. Okay. This is it. China hits out at discriminatory student visa ban, says it will further harm US image. Who's bothered? China can keep yapping and all that. Who's bothered? They've already done it. They said, we will not give, your visas will be revoked if you are have any links with PLA, and high tech subjects, they're not being allowed. Yeah, you can do art, chart, and all but you can't. If you're a Chinese today, you will not be allowed into certain subjects. You can't do research in certain subjects. They are very clear. They say, yeah, you will study, get technology from us, go back. So, band karo. You want to learn about your technology, learn in your country. And we now see it very clear. China does, there's a barrier, technological barrier, beyond which China can't go ahead. Why? The communist system doesn't allow you to go ahead beyond that. It doesn't allow you to think. They can copycat, and that is being proved left, right, and center in all technologies. Okay, they can capture a niche technology through commercial processes. But after that, what? That also started failing. We'll come to that. Now, if you think that China will enter European market, forget it. Oh, Europe knows. If they allow China to come into the European market unfettered, that's the end of Europe. As it is, Europeans are crying. Oh, Trump छोड़ दिया इनको. Russia सर पे मारा बैठा है. And this fellow wants to enter the European market. Why they want to enter the European market? See, we have to also understand. China can go to Africa and sell what it wants. Africa will buy also. But Africa won't pay. Pakistan won't pay. They'll only take on debt. People who will pay are USA and Europe, rich countries. At the end of the day, whatever you say, Europe is a set of rich countries. So China is desperate to get into EU. EU is not interested. Right? So EU is in its own problem, of course, and that creates space for India. And I think something is happening. We'll talk of it some other day, especially through Germany. Right? And then EU businesses don't have confidence in China. And that is worsened after this tariff war. So China is being blocked away from EU. China is being blocked away from USA and India. India to hai. So three major economic blocks. China is getting a block. Middle East is the one country where money is there. Yeah. Now, like someone else says, yeah, let me say, He says China is already in European market. I agree, it's in European market, but will it expand? But China is in every market. China is in Indian market also. But what is the output of that market? That's the thing. Okay. Okay. Now, this is the beginning of the financial problem in China understanding. Right. Now, look at this. He says, which I spoke yesterday, some time back. China is now in a state where interest rates are less than 1%. And for a long time, as a comparison, Japan for over a decade was in a zero interest rate scenario. So Kexin comes out with this, says, is China headed for a zero interest rate era? Now, with prima facie, it looks very simple, isn't it? China has come down to 1% thing. And everyone said, why are the rate cuts happening? Now, China can't anymore do any more rate cuts. If it does rate cuts, it goes to zero. Now, why is this? People say the rate cuts are happening to inject liquidity into the system. Fine. I'm not on this thing, but so what are China's savers doing? As per Yikai Global, which is the second economic portal of China, from China. He says China's savers fled to gold, bonds, and money market funds as deposit rates fall below 1%. So, since I can't get, this is something which is to be understood. Since I can't get, if I have savings, I can't deposit it in bank and get more, 1% only. So, what do? I go to bonds. Bonds give me 1 to 2% yield. Double. So, if my bonds are more, I get more money out of bonds, so I'll buy bonds. So, China is manipulating this. It is forcing its people to buy bonds. Now, I'll talk of that bonds also. On 23rd May, China came out with a 50-year bond yield. 50-year bond auction. Okay, 50-year bond auction. Now, just imagine. China is saying you buy bonds from me, which I'll repay after 50 years. Which means you have to politically bet on the system that these bonds will survive. Otherwise, it's a piece of worthless paper. Oh, Xi Jinping and gang, what did they do? They told all their market institutions to buy bonds. Their own institutions, institutional investors. And why institutional investors can buy bonds? Because they have international money in their kitty. International investors have invested into Chinese market. Or when I say market, state-owned enterprises, all that. Now they want these people to invest money into China's long-term bonds, 50-year bonds. And the moment they did that issue, the bond yield spiked. Now, it's the inverse. In bond yields, if they spike on issue and all, it's a dangerous thing. In fact, that's what happened. That's what made Donald Trump go down on tariffs. The bond market spooked them. Same thing happened here, but they've gone through with it. It's not got response. It's not got response. China wants to take money from the market at 50 years and continue with its projects. The market has not responded. Market has not responded because they already debted. If they did this thing, go whatever money they have, they go and buy bonds. They're stuck because they'll not get the money back out for the next 50 years. And it's cheap. 2% only China has to pay back. Cheap money. And now China cut down the interest rates. as an individual, what do? I can't deposit money in the bank because I don't get less more than 1%. So I'm forced to go and invest in the money market, and which means that money market is being forced to invest into bonds, 50 years. So for next 50 years, I'll not get my money back. They are also enabling local governments to raise money through bonds so that they can pay off their debts. So now that this is what they're doing. Okay. My story, which I always say, China is a rich state with poor people. Now the people are becoming poorer. That rich state, which had a lot of debt, is now also slowly becoming poorer. If he doesn't get this 50-year bonds, how can he build that dam on Brahmaputra? He needs money, no? So he's collecting money which he has to repay after 50 years. It's not going well. So all these are crises. So there's a financial crisis on. I've shown you about a political crisis. There's a military crisis. All these stories are coming together now. If this was not enough, jobs. This is today morning. Trade war is making it worse. China already had a graduate job crisis. Now it is making it worse. So this is going to increase. This whole story, the crisis is widening and deepening. Right? Chinese auto stocks have plummeted. Let me go back to what first comment I got in the morning. Right? Yeah, this is a thing from Vasu Iyengar. Good morning, General Shankar. Look forward. I've heard there's a price war between EV manufacturers, and there's something called 0-mile used EVs being offered. And it's being called the Evergrande of the automobile industry. Yes, this is happening. They say BYD is the next Evergrande of auto industry. BYD last week cut its shares or prices because it has to continue to sell. The moment it continues, it is cut its prices. The others have been forced to cut. So immediately the auto stocks are slumped. There's a crisis. The crisis is not that, you can say BYD is the biggest car or manufacturer selling all that. But what's the cost of that? Anything can go anytime. Now, Vanda Dalian was the fourth big property developer after Evergrande, Country Garden, and other one I'm forgetting, which is Vanke. Yeah, that's collapsing. Vanda Dalian is the fourth. Now that chap is selling 48 malls to ease his debt woes. He's just surviving. So he's selling his assets off. And how many can China restructure? They can't restructure the entire property sector. And that property sector is still, so when people say, oh, property sector and 1 year, 2 years will revive, just forget it. For the next 10 years, it will not revive. You take it from me. We'll talk in 2035 if I'm still interested in China. It will not. And by then, the dynamics of China will change. I keep repeating 2030. Next 5 years, you see a lot of things happening in China. Now, Chinese banks' consumer loan discounts fuel rising bad loan risks. See, when you reduce the cut rates, people don't know what to do with their money, right, which they have. The second thing is you're saying, yeah, come and take loan from me. You take loan from me at 1%. So what is happening is I had taken a loan earlier, say 3-4% to buy a flat. Now I'm going to take a loan at 1% and I'll repay that earlier loan. I'll take from one bank, go to the other bank and repay it. This is what's happening now. So the Chinese banks are getting squeezed. Okay. And they're all bad loans. I mean, when the system starts taking a loan to repay a loan, any system, it happens. Why? Because there's no capacity to repay that loan. I'm talking common sense. Okay? I'm talking common sense. And then, of course, this comes out. There's a report which says, you know, attack on Taiwan is not impossible but unlikely. Because there's chaos. They can't attack anyone. They can't attack themselves at this point of time, the way I look at it. And forget the fact coming against India and all. I think that's a far-fetched idea. I don't. But I'll talk of something else a little later. Okay. This is new. This is very, it has just started. China is now setting up a body which will do mediation on legal issues. It is an international body. It is like something like an international court of arbitration or mediation in Hong Kong. It's gone, it's live at this point of time. Wang Yi is doing it. Why are they doing it? Why are they setting up an international body to set up mediation? Because they fear mediation disputes will happen. Arbitration, they'll have to face arbitration on their loans with it. Like I said, many of these loans are now to be paid back. So what will countries do? Countries will say, no, we took this loan from you, all fine, but they will also hedge, no? They will also go to someone and say, no, we don't agree with what you're saying. So we'll mediate. Now, those countries would like to go to international bodies to mediate. China is saying, no, you can't go international because it's a bilateral loan. You come and mediate, and that mediation body I will set up. So all those loans, they've stopped distributing loans in Belt and Road Initiative. By their own admission, I spoke about it last week. Now they set up a mediation thing in Hong Kong where you can go and this thing. What is the political garb in this? No, Hong Kong is part of one country, two system. It's a different system. It is not part of our country. So you will have this body here, but it is part of our country. The body is mine. So when you go to the court for mediation, any country goes to the court for mediation, the award will go to China. This is the Chinese law. They will not go to international this thing. And they'll force everyone to come for mediation there. So all this is happening. And that is why I say China is completely unstable from my point of view. You see, I've just outlined. I'm not done an analysis. I've not done an analysis. I've just outlined events. My analysis will come next week. My analysis of entire China, I have 9 points which indicate that China is going down. And I'll discuss each of these points. And this is a long-term thing. Okay. The next point is, should it affect us? It does affect us. It does affect India. Okay. At any point of time, instability, if they can't go to Taiwan, they will do something against India. They'll hope to do something against India. Will they do it directly? They might not. They might trigger this beggar next to us, Pakistan, to do it. So we have to be alive. While we are having day-to-day problems with Pakistan, our eyes should be on China. And that's why I'm coming overboard on China. And today evening also we'll talk in Jaipur Dialogues at 7 o'clock. Join us on China, on what lessons we have learned from Op Sindoor for China. We'll talk military, we'll talk everything. But that's the focus. But today is macro analysis of China. Understand China is in a crisis. And that crisis is deepening and widening. Where it goes, I don't know. How it will affect us? It will affect us very badly. So we have to have a strategy to deal with China if China's problems increase. People say, will it collapse? It's a slow collapse which is happening. Where will it end? We'll see. I'll talk. Okay. Right. With this, I'll take on a few questions. I hope you have this thing. Right. Thanks a lot, Magnum Opus, for your contribution. Thanks a lot, Right Geek Project. Should India amplify repressions of Uyghurs put in front of world empowering Uyghurs to give China their version of Baluchistan? It will show hypocrisy of Turkey, who wants to be leader of Muslims. Uyghurs are Turkic. I agree with you completely. We have to change our complete thinking on Uyghurs and Tibet. Tibet is something we can start tomorrow, and I'll do a program on Tibet within this week sometime early morning, the morning programs. Okay, and we have to understand how we have to handle the Uyghur problem and the Tibetan problem. We need to start, and let me tell you, in Syria, I'm now going to Syria. In Syria, there was a group which were Uyghur militants. There's a Uyghur militant group was fighting in Syria as part of one of those factions. China invested in Syria and kept Syria on its side to keep those Uyghur factions under control. Now the whole story in Syria has changed. If those Uyghur factions come back and get into Xinjiang or East Turkestan, then China is in big trouble. And if it gets some radical element goes in, once the radical element enters an area, it's a virus. It will keep going in. Enters from Afghanistan, then it's a bigger problem. One, the domino effect from East Turkestan can come on to Tibet. And Tibet can go. And all this when there is problem there. That's why I said, historically, I'm thankful for this wonderful question you asked, notwithstanding what you contributed. It's a very deep question. Historically, Tibet and East Turkestan have been independent whenever the central body in China was weak. Are we heading into that time? That's the point we have to assess. You want to keep China away? Force him to look inward. How will he look inward? He's already looking inward. Make him to look inward even more through Uyghurs and Tibetans. For that, we need political clarity. My own gut feeling is we are not there as it. Our politics are not there as it. And that political clarity has to be backed a little by our economic capability. We have a lot of economic vulnerabilities. You have to reduce those economic vulnerabilities before you embark on it. But you need to have a plan. How do we have that plan? We don't have that plan. I'll be very honest with you. But I'll talk of it. Because unless we talk of it, someone talks of it. It's not saying, oh, Tibet is a card you can play. It's not a patta. You have to do preparation before you do. It's same thing like POJK or POK. You can't take POK back unless you have a plan. Now that outline of a plan is emerging when our Prime Minister has said, we will talk on POJK coming back to India only with Pakistan. So let's see how it goes. Okay. Thanks a lot, Arun Kumar, for your super sticker. So nice. Right. Let me take questions. Yeah. Your presentations about China and calling them unintelligent and exposing their evil expansionist design intentions. If you can dedicate a session for this, will be grateful. I will. This is my hobby. I mean, I've been studying China right from the time when I was a major, and I've been dedicating a lot of time for it. It's only that when I was a major, I used to study more about the military aspects of China and terrain and Tibet and all that. Now the thing is geopolitical. I've graduated. I will do it. Okay, and I do it my style. Many times you'll find me going with others also, but I have my own way of analyzing China, and you'll find it a little different because I come with facts. I don't talk without facts. Why I do this presentations is because I want to talk with facts. Without facts, there are no conclusions. Otherwise, you're talking in the air. I mean, anyone can talk in the air. Okay, right? Thanks a lot, Hans, for joining. Yeah, shalom, namaskar, and vanakkam to all. Mm, will you not be targeted? I mean, not digitally, or that's okay. Fauji hai yaar, don't worry, nothing will happen. MK Sundaram, Ram Ram, you're coming from class. Thank you. Oh, yeah. As you said, it's knowing more about your country. We need to understand, dissect what's happening in other countries, especially neighbors. I received a message about China showing military might. Nothing will happen. So I hope you put up in your question. If you have, I'll take it, Pradeep. Yeah. Ingeborg Malik. Good morning from Germany, Bremen, respected General Saab. Long time I've not heard your thing, so I'll be. I've not uh, come to it. Maybe there are too many chaps and I missed it, but it's a pleasure to always interact with you. Namaskar to all viewers. Please click the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and share videos with friends and families. Yeah, these will help others to know reality of situations. Yeah, he says, Namaskaram, Vishnathan, how are you? Great. Hmm. Okay. The political working of Chinese government is damn interesting. Yeah, it is. There's no doubt about it. You have to understand in great detail. Okay. Shweta says, good morning. Good morning to you, Shweta. And heard on the first post that China is giving Pak more nuclear weapons. What are the implications? We shouldn't allow that. We can't stop that. Let's be very clear. We can't stop that. But this is not something which, will happen in a hurry. Just be patient. Uh, many of the analysis which is coming out in media today won't happen for the next 5-10 years. So be patient. Okay, a few days ago you said China keeps expanding territory to provide depth and protect Han heartland. While I agree any relation with fact to consider themselves Middle Kingdom, well, that's their outlook. That's their outlook. That is why they want Arunachal Pradesh. That's why they want Ladakh. That's why they want to come into the central sector also. Okay. Look, there's a fundamental reason why they want to come on to all these places. Wherever Buddhism has spread, they want to come there and occupy that. That is why they are coming to Nepal, and they've come to that place, where Lumbini, and they're establishing everything. Buddhism, they want to control a religion called Buddhism. They want to Sinicize Buddhism, and that is how they can control Tibet. Understand the whole story. If you understand, you have to understand China through different layers. Yeah. I like all your blogs. Thank you, Ajit. So nice of you. ISPR and CCP trolls are rattled by your presentations. Yeah, I agree with you. They are. That's why I expected it's okay. The quality of troll comments show the degree of desperation in trying to save face. Look, I'm not going to take out any troll comment. We are in a democracy. Let them speak. The power of my judgment, the power of my argument, and the power of my analysis should see you through. So if any one of you are seeing any troll messages and comments, everything, see the video and then take a call. Okay. So far, not a single buffoon has come and been able to negate my comment with logic. How many Chinese believe their own government? A lot, because they've been brainwashed to do so. And they're controlled to do so, and they can't think. Yeah, Chinese are planning something in Taiwan. Is that why mock drills in Bharat, POK coming when? No, no, Chinese are doing nothing in Taiwan. Don't worry, they'll go nowhere. Yeah. How do you think any breakthrough in technology can bring the Chinese out of their problems? I don't know. I don't know. One of the problems with China is while they are looking at technology to break through everything, so far they've not been able to monetize their technology. Unless they monetize their technology and revive their economy, nothing will go forward. And revival of one economy, it doesn't depend on technology. No one is going to go and buy Chinese technology. It is dependent on trust. And whenever Chinese technology fails, and it fails quite a bit, the trust erodes. So this is also backfire. In fact, that's their last vestige. Technology is their last vestige. That's why they're talking of technology. Look, if the technology fails, then they're headed for a revolution. Remember that. Is it true Pakistan nuclear weapons gave by America and Pakis don't have their own nuclear? Yeah, Pakis don't have. I mean, Pakis have built their own nuclear weapons thanks to American help indirectly and Chinese assistance and North Korean assistance. It's not American weapons. That's all nonsense. Yeah, I thought India was in a political mess. India is not in a political mess. Understand this. Please understand. India is not in a political mess. Our democracy is functioning. You know, people are not fools in Bengal to keep electing their chief minister over and over again. People are not fools in Tamil Nadu to keep electing a DMK government over and over again. People are not fools to change governments in various places where, like Karnataka, once it's BJP, other times it's Congress, it's ding dong. People are not fools. Okay. It's people are not fools that they didn't give BJP a outright majority. And okay, I mean, you can say what do you want about our polity. I mean, a BJP is a damn good party, but you can't make a CCP type of a party out of it. At the end, BJP has done a good job. I have no doubt about it at central levels. But if you give too many votes to BJP and make it into a big affair, like Xi Jinping's Communist Party, then your democracy is over. So that is why we are a very functional democracy. We might be a vocal democracy, we might have problems, corruption and all, it's there in every bloody democracy. Everyone buys votes. Even China, people buy votes. Okay. Even in America, people buy votes in a different manner. So don't worry about all that. But at the end of the day, our people have the capability of changing governments. Remember that. Yeah, Taiwan is a good point. They might do a Pakistan army and use Taiwan as a smokescreen to fool their people. Yes, right. Lily Tanner, I love shopping online. Yeah, down the stuff comes from the selection of products have gone radically downhill. The stuff come with from China is bad. I agree with you, Lily Tanner. It's useless. The Chinese stuff is absolutely useless. Right. Yeah, I live in America. Yeah, America. Fine. Thank you. I like that. Yeah, now I've always wondered how India managed to win all wars bestowed upon us by Pakistan. Now I know because of our generals. Yes, I agree with you. Don't think I'm the best general in India. There are so many more who are better than me, and each better than the other. For the simple reason we in India, our generals are rooted to the ground. Which country in the world will you find a general collecting money for his man? I mean, look, I'll tell you. I mean, I'm grateful. I thank all of you who have contributed to Nayak Dinesh Kumar's, martyrdom in Op Sindoor. What was he to me? I must explain this to you. What was he to me? He's just a Nayak. I'm a retired general. I retired 8 years back. He is my. He was a man. He was a soldier serving in the regiment which I commanded. Okay, I lived in that regiment for 20 years. Anyone who's in that regiment, I don't know them because they all came into the army after I left the regiment. I commanded the regiment during Op Vijay, during a war, uh, right, Kargil war. So I commanded it then. After that, I left. I became senior, became a general, and left. But my roots are still in that regiment. I have my roots there. I keep going back to that regiment. I keep in touch with them. I keep in touch with men. Many of them I don't know. They're bachas. They could be my grandchildren's age. Okay, in a different society. But when that boy dies, I reach out to him and his family and find out what do they want. I give money. I collect from you people and give it to them. I give my own money. I mean, that's a different story. That is the care we take of our men. For me, my men are the best in the world and I must take care of them. And for all of you, please remember the man on the ground, the Indian Army man on the ground is the best soldier on Mother Earth. And he will ensure India is safe and secure and become a powerful nation. It is not generals like us. It is not arms, equipment, and all. The man on the ground, the guy who stands firm with his gun and fires at the enemy or at a drone without thinking. When I say without thinking, he's so well organized mentally that he can react without thinking. That's why we brought out all the Pakistani drones down. Remember that. Yeah, when US is a hostile against a country, that means the country has potential damage to challenge US. I agree. No, its future might be India. It's not future. Present is India. We are challenging them. Yeah, C919 is a failure. Hans, whether C919 is a failure or not is not the issue. The problem is, or the issue is, China is touting it as their aircraft, but they're dependent completely on American technology, even for engines, Rolls-Royce engines. So that's the point. You can twist them. Right. There was recently a news that our industry needs to submit end user certificate while importing rare earth magnets from China and all that. We need to get our. I agree with you. This is a issue. This is a trade issue. It will get sorted out. Don't worry. Yeah, Indian Army officers are general are top notch. The CDS exam, which selects defense forces officers, has a 0.25% acceptance rates. Only the best get through. Look, again, I make this point. More than the officers, more than the generals, it's the men. Right. Let me take some interesting questions. Yeah. China is about to enter the same deflationary cycle Japan went through, so they have no more fiscal tools. I agree with you. I did this about 10 days back or 15 days back. I compared the Japanese curve and the Chinese curve where China is heading. I'll talk one day of Japanification of China. It'll be an interesting talk. Okay. Yeah. What's your take on reports that US is trying to use US government as a springboard for a new US intervention in Myanmar via Rakhine? Should we be alarmed at this? Could pose a threat to or not? Yes, it is. There are different ways. I spoke about this 3 days back along with General Rajiv Narayanan and Dushyant. So I suggest you go back. But it's a problem for us. At the same time, it's an opportunity for us. Why is US going into Myanmar? Understand this. If you understand this, the rest everything falls into play. US is going into Myanmar to upset the Chinese apple cart and their control over rare earths. So I'll have to do a thing on rare earths of China. Then you'll understand the game which is going on. Okay. To my way of looking at it, I don't mind the Americans going in there. My own way is let the Americans go in and they'll create chaos. They'll kick out China from there, which we can't. But there are repercussions after that. So it's a game which we'll have to see how to play this. What's the impact of this support to Pak? We'll see. Support to Pak is playing a proxy. It's a proxy. Evening, if you join, I'll analyze this with what is China doing? How the question which we want to examine is what are the lessons learned for China to in Opsundur against China? How to employ them? Part of this is Pak. I'll talk about this in detail. It's a detailed thing, right? Kirit Jahend, yeah, BYD being sold below cost. Yes, I agree with you. Wanda sells, who buys? I don't know. 50-year bond, normally it is 5, 7 or 10 years. How one is, I don't know. These are things, these are realities. I'm not giving you something different. That means for 50 years you have to invest into the system. Chinese are not investing into the system, their own system. How will others? Okay, can't attack themselves. Yeah. How does China's new leader get selected? I mean, it's like dictators being selected. So how will Xi Jinping be replaced? As every dictator wants us. That's the struggle which is going on, Nikhil. That's the thing. It's like crabs. It's like crabs. It's a survival. And their metrics are geopolitics. Their metrics are economy. Yeah, if the economy goes up, already see Hu Jintao in the last 20 party Congress, he was thrown out. Now he is come back and he's screwing Xi Jinping. It's all happening. Can Japan provide jet engine technology in lieu of? Yeah, we can. We should do something like that. What do you think about our 6% growth? Will it increase further or stay same? Look, if you do 6 to 7%, you're okay. Don't worry. Will China now? Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah. Will China now drag the world economy along with it? We've done well so far, but with so many economies plunging, are we safe? We are the ones who have to pull others out. We can't go down. We won't go down. Everyone is banking on us to pull them out. And that's our strength today. Don't worry. We have some problems. Luckily, we have a stable government. Okay. We have a stable government. Forget about the optics and, the Twitter and social media fight between political parties. We have a stable government and the government is doing well. They know what they're doing. They're handling China well. We are handling Pakistan well. We are handling Europe well. We are handling USA well. And our neighbors also, we are doing a reasonably good job. Is it the best thing we are doing? We can't. That's never happened. That's utopian, right? Like for example, uh, the parliamentary committees, parties, groups which you have sent all over the world, they're doing well. It's a national movement. So don't worry. We are on good wicket. Yeah, you have called Kamar Chima Chinese once. He's like that only. Srinivas. Lavrov issued a statement that RIC Troika revival interests him. Hope we don't take the bait we want. Lavrov is more Chinese oriented in that system. Okay, right. Kumar Gopalan, morning. How are you? Yeah, you're talking of ETI. I'm Satish. I agree with you. Then let me say Dwarkesh Patel has released video with Victor Shees explaining China, where he says a lot of things you have been saying. I'm sure you will. Yeah, let me see. I don't know who Dwarkesh Patel is, right? Because I have a certain amount of bandwidth. I can't go beyond that. Yeah, what keeps you so energized, like your views? Well, I have a lot of time, so I do it. What are the key lessons India should draw from in China's economic ups and downs? India should be India. We shouldn't become another China. That's the major lesson I think we should take home. Don't try to ape China and become China. A lot of people compare India with China. I don't like to compare. We should do this, we should do that. We'll become like China, we'll be worse than China. Thanks a lot, Limachan Kikon. More clarity has come to my understanding through you, General Saab. Thank you. It's wonderful to hear from top analysts without any filter. That's what it is, unfiltered. Yeah. Thanks for your dedication, sir. Thank you. I don't see Pradeep Patil asking a question again. It's not there. Okay. Look, the Lily Tana, the whole world is in a mess, but not India. India is not in a mess. We are happy. I've never seen India so happy. I keep going around of my whole country. I am very clear we are in a very good space. Chinese ambassador attacked in Quetta. I don't know. I have to see. I'll have to see this news. Is there threat of biochemical warfare from China? No. What do you think India's national character will be after it becomes as powerful as China? Will it try to grab territory once it becomes powerful? It won't. It won't. Don't worry. We will not go anywhere. We don't want Pakistan. Let me be very clear. We don't want Bangladesh. Because with the territory come people. Where do these people go? So it's better they're there where they are. Okay, that's it. We just want our territory back. What is our territory which we want back? We want POK back, which means POJK and Gilgit Baltistan, and we want Aksai Chin back. That is something we'll take back. That I can tell you. Yeah. Sir, courts of USA dismissed the tariff wars with China, Vietnam unconstitutional. So very soon China will be more focused on. No, don't worry, Hiranmay. That has been set aside already. That already the courts have said no, you can carry on. That is only lasted for one day. So if you've seen it, today morning news is the courts have stayed their own thing. There's no worry about it. Can you please talk about India's strategy to irritate China with geopolitics to counter? I can talk of it. Don't worry. We'll do it. Your old rare earths video was brilliant. Maybe a reaction update would be. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. Absent for 3 days. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back. Mohan, thanks a lot for coming back. Surya Namaskar, thank you. Okay, let me last. Would you do a tourism episode based on your postings in the Indian Army? I will. One day I'll do. It's a very interesting thing. It's a good idea also. It gives you an idea of what India is. Right? Uh, Is our aversion of for RCEP because of instability in border areas of Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, and no, it's not. RCEP will destroy your economy because you will allow dumping. It it's a backdoor dumping. It'll kill your dairy sector, which is the biggest sector. It'll kill your farmers, and it'll kill everyone in the marginalized areas or people who are in the process of developing. Okay, so that is why RCEP is bad for us. Okay, I think we've done for the day. Uh, I'll come back in the evening, 7 o'clock, with Sanjay Dikshit. We'll put it out around 3:34. Till then, thank you. So great that all of you have come and joined me in the morning. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, again, I request press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Consider becoming members of Ghana Shot. Thank you, morning, and have a great day.